Hello everybody, today I will show you how to hide your customer's phone number from your driver, courier, and vice versa. This process is called phone number masking, and today we will use Voximplant Platform to do it easily. Okay, so in order to make phone number masking, we have a tutorial in voximplant.com where we have phone number masking that will tell us how to make a simple scenario in Voximplant Platform in order to hide the real phone number of this customer to this driver and hide the real phone number of this driver to the customer. This is usually for security reasons, and you can do it very easily with Voximplant. Now, what do we need in order to make this possible? We need a Voximplant developer account. You can create one for free. You need a simple backend. In this case, we will use ngrok to create a Node.js server. I'm going to show you how to do it. You need a phone number that you can purchase from Voximplant. I'm going to buy one phone number in Colombia where I am located so I can test this scenario. And well, both the customer and the driver will have to call to this same phone number. That's the idea. They both call to the phone number and get connected to the right person. And we need the JavaScript scenario, which is the logic that we will use to handle these incoming calls and connect to the right person. Okay, so let's start with the backend. Now, the backend is needed to create this server that it's going to store the number, the phone number of the customer, and it's going to give back the number so we can call the customer. This is a really simple Node.js Express app. So what I'm going to do first is to download the Node.js and Express framework. Now, the way that you download Node.js, depending on your operative system, you just download the package that you need. In my case, is Mac OS. I just download and install. After I have done that, I just have to go and after you have installed Node.js, you just have to download Express. I will leave you guys all of the links in the description. So you just go to Express, you open your terminal if you're in a Mac or Linux, and then you just go npm like this. Npm install, save, you paste, and it's installing. All right, done. So we have installed already Node.js and Express. We need to create a new script that will have this code. Now, in order to do this, I will use Visual Studio Code. That is the code editing software that I use, and I'm going to paste. And I'm going to save it. Where am I going to save it? Okay, let's create our index.js file. This is the main document of our Express application. So I just save it. And that's it. I have created the index file for that simple application. That will be my backend, okay? Now, what we have to do is that we have to, now I'm going to use ngrok in order to make my local machine, my computer, a server so I can ask things to it. Now, in order to do this, I need to install ngrok. Now, the way that you do this is that you download the packages of ngrok, and then we are going to create a tunnel so we can publish a port in our machine so anybody in the internet can talk with our machine as a server over that port. Okay, now I am going to create this tunnel. How do I do it? Like this. I just go to my terminal and I have to look for the place where this script it is, right? So I go to my folder and I just drop it here in Mac, Node, and the route to my document. So in this way, I will be running that backend to create a server in this machine. Now, in order to open the tunnel so anybody in the internet can connect to this port, we will open this tunnel like this. We will create another terminal window, and then we go and we run this. So in order to create the tunnel so we can connect publicly to this machine, we have to go to the ngrok location where is it stored, and I'm going to run this. I already installed the ngrok package in the HD folder, so it should work. Alright, I just created a public URL where I can make the get and the post methods to ask for information and to give the phone number of my customer. Why? Because this is the logic that we're going to have. So the customer is going to call a phone number. If we decide it is not a driver because we know our drivers, we will save this number in our Express file, in our Express application, which is here using an HTTP post, and then we're going to call to the driver so we can connect the client to the driver. Now, if the driver is calling, that should be after the client called in, the driver will call to the phone number. We decide it's a driver, then we get the client's phone that we already saved in the application using HTTP get method, and then we're going to call the customer phone because we are the driver, and then we're going to connect with the customer so we can have this connection. That is the logic of our scenario. Now that we have the backend of this application, we are going to create the script to have this other logic. Okay, so how do we do this? Let's go back to our tutorial. Now we have already our public URL. So what's the next step? The next step is to buy the phone number. Now Voximplant allow you to buy phone numbers almost anywhere in the world and in seconds. Okay, so how do we buy a phone number? You have to buy a phone number like this. I'm going to buy a phone number in the United States, so you can see how to do it, but I'm going to use a local phone number in Colombia so I can make, the example. Now let's look for a number in the United States. I can look for a geographical in California, and I can also select the region. You have to be careful if you want to use this phone number also for sending SMS. You have to select such a number that allows you to send SMS. Okay, so I just buy this phone number. It's a real phone number. It's going to be $1. I click buy. Cool. Now I have this phone number in my list of available phone numbers, and it has SMS capabilities, SMS supported. Now, in order to use this phone number, this will be our main phone number, this phone number, right? Now we have to connect that phone number so we can start a scenario. Now, we did already the first part, buy the phone number. Now, what do we need to do? Application and JavaScript scenario. Now, we have the code here of this scenario, so I'm going to explain it really fast. Let's go ahead and put it in our Voximplant scenario. How do we do this? We just go to our application, and we're going to create a new application. Okay, this will be called phone masking 002. Okay, I created phone masking 2. Okay, now this is your new application. In order to add a scenario, you have to go to the third tab, Scenarios, which will be our logic, and we will create a new scenario. This will be phone masking 002.js. We're going to paste what we took from the tutorial. Okay, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And what do we need to change? Let me tell you what do we need to change. You need to have a phone number that will be your driver, and you have to have one phone number that will be your customer. Now you have to add the driver phone here without international code, because it will be understood like that, and the caller ID, because we need to identify the actual number in each call. So, all right, now we are in the numbers section. Now, after we buy a phone number, it should display as available inside our application. Now we have two numbers available. We have one in Colombia, and we have the one we just bought in California. Now, as I am located in Colombia, I am going to use this one, okay, for testing purposes, but it's the same logic. Okay, now I'm going to attach this phone number. I'm going to select all rules, but we have no rule created. Now we're going to create the first rule. What is a rule in Voximplant? The routing rules allows you to connect numbers to scenarios. Okay, so we're going to create our first rule. Now our rule will be phone masking, and I clicked enter. I missed something, and you can select the pattern here, like I'm going to receive all the calls that for any number in this application will wake this rule. Now if I only want to make use of the phone numbers that start with 57, I go ahead and filter. This is a regex filter that I can use to filter those phone numbers and make them wake different scenarios. This is very useful for different countries' operation. Now I'm going to select my JavaScript scenario from available scenarios. So this rule will wake phone number masking 002. I'm going to save my rule, and it's okay. Now let's go back to the tutorial. Okay, we have our ngrok backend. Now, how to use the demo? We have to change the scenario here so it will match our customer phone number and our driver phone number, that I have two phone numbers here. So I'm going to replace driver number, caller ID, and also I'm going to replace this public URL for my backend. Now, for the driver number, it will be me. So this is my phone number without the country code. But my caller ID, if we remember what is my phone number, the caller ID will be the same phone number that we bought. We can use this one, or we can use this one that is available. Let's use this American phone number. This is my phone number where I am going to call. That will show. This is the caller ID that it will be displayed whenever we make an outbound call from the cloud. Now we're going to replace this server URL. How do we do this? I just open my ngrok interface. I copy it. It's the same, and I paste it here, and I paste it here. Okay, so I have changed a little bit the scenario so I can handle in the right way the country code, because we cannot make a phone call only with the phone number without the country code. So as I am in Colombia, I had to concatenate using this method concat the country code to the driver number so I can so I can make it work. All right, so you can use the concat method and you can add this to this variable driver number, so it will be as we need to. And also you have to do the same for the customer number, okay? Because when the customer calls in, it is being saved in our backend, but without the country code. So that's important notice for you to be aware of that. All right. Now we are going to test this scenario. So the way I'm going to do it is with two different cell phones. I'm going to call first as the customer and then as the driver. Okay, so give me please 1 moment. Okay, it looks like it's working. Now, in order to test this, we can debug. Okay, so I'm going to call in as the customer. Okay, so I'm going to start the debug mode, and here you can put stops in order to see what is going on each of these lines of code. Now, I'm going to call in as the customer. I'm receiving a call in my driver phone number. Hello? Okay. All right. We got connected. Now I called in as the customer. Now I'm going to call as the as a driver. Okay, we got connected. Now we got the call in the customer phone. Hello?
Hello?
This is your driver.
Your driver.
Okay. And we close it. All right. So we did it. Use the same phone number so two different people could call in and be connected to each other. Now this is a really simple scenario, but instead of having our really simple backend, you can have more ways to interact with your customer, to verify it's them, or to have more things than only the phone number, maybe the name, and personalize the interaction. And maybe more than hiding the phone number, you can do whatever you want with that caller ID. Okay, so I hope this works for you. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comments, and we'll be more than glad to help you out, or someone from the Voximplant team. Thanks a lot. I wanted to show you that you can see your phone calls. You can see what you did in the call history section here. So this was the first call when I called section here. So this was the first call when I called in as the customer and I was connected to the driver, and then I was the driver and I got connected to the customer. You can check what happened in the logic in each session by opening the log and reading what's going on there to see this is the way that you check out that your code is actually working while you are developing in Voximplant. So that's it. I hope you have enjoyed. If you have any questions, please, this is the moment. Let me know. How can I help you?